check line 9. This session. Yes. It says that this session is being recorded. Okay. Okay, so my second variable is year. I'm going to assign it to 2017. And then I'm gonna have, let's say, string brand. Okay, so now I'm going to create the methods in order to use these variables. So the first method that I'm going to create is for the color. So for the method, we use the access specifier, which is public, and then for the color, it's going to be non-return type. So I'm just going to use void, and then the method name, which is color. Okay, the parentheses, and then I open the body and we close the body of the method, and then we want the method to print let's say the color is black. Okay, so this is the first method. We're gonna do another one, so the same thing, public, and then for the year it's gonna be return type, so we'll use int, and then the method name, which is car year, and then it's gonna be system out print ln, and then we want to print the year is, and then the variable year, and it's a return type, so we need to return year. I'm sorry, it's not capital here. Okay, so what do I see here? Okay, now I'm gonna create another method for the brand. So the same thing, public, and then this one is gonna be return type, so string, and then method name, let's say, let's say car brand, and then here I want to pass a parameter which is string brand, like this, and then I want to print system out print ln this is a, and then plus, and then brand, and then plus, and then car, and then we need to return brand. Okay, so these are three methods. I just wanted to make them a little bit different one from another. So in here, we're going to create the object and then call the methods. So to create the object, so we need the class name, which is car, and then the object name, which is my car, and then the keyword new, and then the class name. Okay. Now we're gonna use the object, so my car dot. So the first, we're gonna call the first method, which is car color. Okay, so this method is supposed to print the color is black. Okay, so just save it, run, and then it prints the color is black. Now we're gonna call another method. So object name dot we're gonna call the year. Okay, so this one. So this one is supposed to print the year is and then the value of year, which is 2017. Okay, so save and run. So it prints the year is 2017. And then for the third one, so my car dot. So the third method is car brand, and you see it gives me the option to enter the brand because I passed here a string brand, so I need to give it a value here. So let's say, I don't know, let's say Toyota. Okay, so this method is supposed to print this is a Toyota car because I gave the Toyota value to the string brand. So let's save it, run it. Okay, so this is a Toyota car. Okay, so this is for how to create a class. So what we did so far is that we created a class, we declared variables, we made methods, and then we created another class in which one we created an object, and then we used this object to call these three methods, and then to have the access to the method's properties. Okay, so I hope it was clear. Okay, so this was for the first topic, which is class and object. Now we're going to see the second one, which is constructor. So we know that instead of using methods, we can use constructor, and the difference with the constructor is that when we use a constructor, we can initialize the object right after creating this object. So this is what we are going to see. So let's close these. I'm just gonna use this one. I think it's gonna be better. Okay, so Okay, so I already have here a package named constructor. So in this package, I have created two classes. This one, so this one is named company. It's gonna be the blueprint, and test company is gonna be the class in which one I'm going to run the program. Okay, so for here, let's just declare some variables for this company class. So let's say we can have string address. We can have int employees, which is going to be the number of employees working for this company. And then we can have, let's say, string, I mean, the activity of the company, for example. Okay. So we have three variables. So now we're going to create constructors. So instead of methods, we're going to use constructors. So first, we are going to create the default constructor. So we always need to have a default constructor. So for the constructor, we need to use the access specifier, which is public, and then the constructor must have the same name as the class name. So here the class name is company. So the constructor must have the same name. So it's going to be company. And then we're going to do this. We open the body and we close the body. So this is the default constructor. So the default constructor. Okay. Now we are going to create constructor one. So the same thing, the access specifier, which is public, and then the same name as the class name, which is oh, I'm sorry. So which is company, and then what we have to know here is that we can have many constructors in one class, but the condition is they must have different signatures, because as you can see, the constructors have the same name, which is the company, the class name. So we should have something in order to make a difference between them. So so in order to do that, we need to pass some parameters in here. For this one, we're gonna pass the string address as a parameter. Okay, so string address, and then open the body, close the body. So in here, so you can see that I used the same name, so address and address, but actually it could be a different name. So I'm just using the same in order not to have, so too many names and to be confused. So in here, what we need to do is to use the keyword this. So this keyword, it means that it refers to the class itself. It means that in this class. So we're gonna do this dot. So this string address, which is this one, we're gonna assign it to this one. So it means that we are going to assign this string address to this one that we have declared in here. So that's why I said that it can be different, a different name, it doesn't matter. So it's gonna be address. Okay, so what we want the constructor to do is to print something. So let's say system out print line. Let's say this or the company is located in, and then plus the value that we are going to assign to this address. So we're gonna do address. Okay. So this is for constructor 1. Now we are going to create another constructor. So let's say constructor 2. Okay, so the same thing, the access specifier, which is public, and then the same name as the class name, which is company, and then we need to pass a parameter in order to make the signature different. So in here we use the string address. So in here we're going to use the int employees. int employees. So as I said, it can be a different name from this one. So I'm just using the same, but it can be different. Okay, so the same thing, we're gonna use this dot, where is employees? Okay, so this one equals to, so we're going to assign this int employees to this one. Okay, and we want to print I don't know, so let's say the company has, and then employees and plus employees. Okay, so we're going to print the company has, and then the value that we are going to give to employees, and then employees. So for example, we want to print the company has 100 employees. Okay, so this is for the constructor 2. We're gonna make a constructor 3. Constructor 3. So the same thing, the access specifier public, and then the same name as the class name, which is company. And then here we need to pass parameters. So let's say string activity. String. Okay, so as you can see, it shows that there is an error because you see that here we have string, and in here we have string. So it's the same signature. So in this case, what we need to do is, so we can just use a method instead of using a constructor for this one, or we can add something here in order to make it different. So we can say, let's declare another variable here. String, let's say name, so the company can have a name. And then we're gonna do here string name. Okay. Okay, so now the signature is different, so it's correct. So I'm gonna use this dot string activity. Oh, sorry. Equals. And then this dot string name. Okay, equals name. Okay, and then we want to print I don't know, let's say name plus, okay, is specialized in, and then the activity. Okay. Okay, that's good. So we have the default constructor, and we have 3 constructors. So now we are going to this class, sorry, test company. So in here, we are going to create objects and then initialize the object. So first, so to create an object, so we need the class name, which is company, and then the object name. So for this one, we're gonna call it company address. Okay, so company address, okay, and then equals new company. So in here, you see that we passed here a parameter which is string address. So we're gonna use it here. Let's say, I don't know, USA. Okay, so this is going to print the company is located in, so let's do this, in the USA. So let's just save it and then run it. Okay, so you see the company is located in the USA. So when we used a method, we had to create the object and then use the object name dot method name in order to run the program. But when we use a constructor, so all we need to do is just to create the object, so as we did here, and then to initialize the object. we're going to do the same thing for the second constructor. So the second one is for the numbers of employees. So we can do the same thing. So class name, and then let's say number employees equals new, and then class name, and then here we can pass a value for the number of employees. Let's make it 50. Okay, so this one is supposed to print the company has, so we passed here 50, so it's gonna print the company has 50 employees. So let's see, save it, run it. Okay, so the company has 50 employees. Okay, so now we're gonna do the same thing for the third constructor, which is activity and name. So we're gonna create another object. So the class name, and then the object name, let's call it company company activity, and then equals to new company. And then here we can pass our parameters. So we have here string activity and then string name. So for the activity, we're gonna do, let's say IT. And then for the name of the company, okay, so we're just gonna do ABC. Okay, so this is supposed to print, so name, which is ABC. So ABC is specialized in IT. So let's see, save it, run it. Okay, so ABC is specialized in IT. Okay, so what did we do so far? So we created this class, we declared variables, we didn't assign values to these variables, and then instead of using methods, we created constructors. So the difference between the method and the constructor is that with the method, when we use a method, so we need to create an object and then use the object name dot method name in order to access the method properties. But when we use a constructor, so we can just initialize the object right after creating this object. So all we need to do is create the object and then initialize the object. I mean, we don't need the second line that we use usually in the method, which is object name dot method name. Okay, so this was for the second topic. Is it clear? So do you have questions so far? Okay. So I think that I can go to the next topic, which is the keyword static in terms of method and in terms of a variable. So we're gonna start by the keyword static in terms of method. So we're gonna go back to Eclipse. I'm just gonna use these two classes because we already have methods here. Okay, so as you can see, here the methods are not static, they are non-static. So in here, in order to access the method properties, we needed to create an object and then use the object name dot method name in order to access the method properties. But if we make the method static, actually we don't need to create an object. We just need to use the class name dot method name, because actually we use that in purpose of memory efficiency, because we know that when we create, every time we create a new object, this object takes some space in the heap. So that's why for memory efficiency, it means if you create a lot of objects, so they're going to take a lot of space in the memory. So that's why we can just make the method static and then just access the method properties without creating an object, just using the class name dot method name. So we're gonna try to do that. Okay, so here we have 3 methods. So let's try to make this one, the car color, let's try to make it static. So what we need to do is just do this. Okay, so public static void and then car color. Okay, so now the method is static. What we need to do here, and then we go here, actually we don't need to use this. We don't even need to create an object for that to access this method. All we need to do is just the class name, which is car dot, and then you see we have here the method name car color. Actually, so when we use class name dot, we can only access the methods which are static. So as you can see, they have small s in here. It means that they are static. So when we do that, so we access the method. So we can save it. So remember, this method is supposed to print the color is black. Okay? So save it, run it, you see? So it says the color is black, and then the others, the year and the car, the brand. So we can try to make another one static. So let's make this one static. It says that there is an error. Okay. And then the same thing. We go here. Okay. So the class name, which is car dot. Okay, so now we can access 2 methods when we use the class name dot, so we can access the car color and then the car brand. So we need the car brand, and then here we can pass a parameter. We set Toyota. Okay, so let's save it. So this one is supposed to print, this is a Toyota car. Run it. Okay, so the car, the first one is the color is black, and then this is a Toyota car, and then the last one is the year is 2017. Okay, so this was for the keyword static in terms of method. So let's see. Follow the same rule like Fahim or Mafisher in the beginning. Different method can burn out mind. Actually, what do you mean exactly by follow the same rule? Okay. Actually, I'm just trying to explain things the way I understood them. So I don't know. We may have different ways of thinking. Okay, so I'm just gonna try now to cover the last topic, which is static in terms of variables. So we saw here the static in terms of method. So just to summarize, when we make a method static, we can access the method properties without creating an object. So all we need to do is to use the the class name dot method name. So we don't need to create an object, and this is in the purpose of memory efficiency. Okay, so now we are going to see the keyword static in terms of variable. So I'm just going to use this one. Okay, so let's do this. And let's do this. Actually, in here, we're going to see the getter method and the setter method. So the method called get and the method called set. So I already have here two classes. So this one is called age, which is gonna be the blueprint, and this one is called test age. So in this one, we're gonna run the program. So we're gonna make it very simple. First, let's declare a variable named age and then assign it to, let's say, 30. Okay, and then we're going to create one method. Let's say, so the access specifier public, and then it's gonna be a return type, so int. We're gonna call it get age. Oh. Open the body and close the body. So this is a return type, so we need to return something which is age. Okay, so this is for the first method. Now we're going to create another method which is set age. So the same thing, the access specifier, which is public, and then it's gonna be a non-return type. So we're just gonna use void, and then the method name, which is set age. Open the body. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna pass a parameter here, which is string age. And then in here, I'm gonna use this keyword, and then so for the age is not string, is int, sorry. And then this, so this one, so int age equals age. Okay, so we just assigned this age that we're going to use to this one that we declared before. Okay, so this is for the two methods. Now we are going to create objects in order to call these the methods. Okay, so now, for now, we notice that the methods are non-static. So we're gonna start with non-static, and then we're gonna make, I mean, not the method, the variable age is non-static. So we're gonna do it this way, and then we're gonna make the variable static in order to see the difference, in order to see what is going to happen. Okay, so here we're gonna create one object. So we need class name, which is age, and then the object name, let's say my age equals to new age. Okay, and then we're gonna use this object, which is my age. So my age that we're gonna call the method called getAge, and is supposed to give us the age, which is 30. Okay, so we're just gonna print something. So let's say system out print line. So let's say I am, and then plus, and then this, and then plus years old. Okay, so this is going to print I am and then the age, so which is 30 years old. So let's save it and run it. So I am 30 years old. Okay, so if we create another object, let's say, so the same thing, the class name, which is age, and then let's call this object your age equals new age. Okay, and then we're gonna use this object to call the get age method. So the same thing. So your age dot get age. So we're just gonna print something. Let's do this. System out print align. Okay, so you are and then plus, and then the age, and then years old. Plus. Okay. So we created a second object, which is your age, and then we called so using this object, your age, we called the get age method. So it's supposed to give us 30. So let's just run it and then see. Okay, so you are 30 years old. So in here, if the first object decides to change the value of the age, so instead of 30, the object is going to use another value. So we're gonna do this. So the object, so my age, is going to call the set age method in order to set up another value to the age. So let's put 25. Okay, and then let's call the get method. Let's just copy from here in order to save time. So my age, this object changed the value of the age using the set age method, and then we're gonna call the get age in order to print this new value. So here it's supposed to print 25 years old. So save, run. Okay, so I am 25 years old. So in this case, if we use again, so we see that my age, this object changed the value. So if the second object calls the get age method, we're gonna see that, so let's do this. Save, run. It's gonna give 30. So even though this object changed the value of age to 25, and it's printing 25, but it didn't affect the other object, which is your age. Why? Because the variable here is non-static. So, but if we make the variable static, Okay, so in here, the so int age is static. So what we're gonna do, so in here when we call just the get method, so when my age calls the get age method and then your age calls the get age method, it's going to print 30 because it's the age that we it's the value that we assigned to age. But if one of the two objects is making a change on the value, it's gonna affect the other one. So we're gonna see that. So let's do it again. Okay, so my age dot set age, we're gonna put it to 25. So you see that my age, the object is going to change the value, and then we call the get age method. Okay, so save. Okay, so it's 25. So until now it's good. And then for the second object, which is your age, we're just gonna call the get age method. We're not gonna do your age dot set age and then change the value. We're just gonna call the get age method without changing the value, and we'll see that it's going to print 25. It's not going to print 30. Even though this object, your age, didn't change the value. You see, it's printing you are 25 years old. This is because the int age is static. So when a variable is we can say that when a variable is non-static, it belongs to the object. So when one object is making a change on the value of the variable, it doesn't affect the other objects. But when a variable is static, we say that it belongs to the class. So when one of the objects is making a change on the value of the variable, it's going to affect the other objects. So as we saw here, my age called the set age method in order to change the value and to set it up to 25. And then actually it changed the value, but the object your age didn't use the set age method to change the value, but the value has changed and it became 25. This is because the int age is static. Okay, so I think that this is gonna be all for me for today. I hope that it was clear and helpful for some of you. If I made some mistakes, I'm really sorry about that. Okay, so what am I supposed to do now?
Yes, hello. Hi. Yeah, thank you,
Hi.
Kahina, for mentoring.
Thank you.
Good job, right? Who else is next? It's Mahshin, I think. So Mahshin will mentor now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
No problem. Wait, is Mahshin here? Oh, yes, he is. Mahshin, you're mentoring now, right? Hold on. Hello, Mahshin, are you there? All right. I'm giving you presenter, and you can start whenever you're ready.
Hold on. Talk about.
All right, yeah. So hold on, just
What should I do?
okay. So I'm gonna give you. You're gonna have to accept presenting. Just click show my screen. All right. You can start your mentoring, and good luck.
All right, thanks. Hold on. I don't supposed to see anything in the GUI interface. I can see myself only, right? It's gonna be okay. I can just. How can I? Are you guys able to see my screen? I mean, I'm confused. Are you guys able to see my screen? All right, good. All right, so. Hello everyone. Are you guys able to hear me as well? All right, cool. We are going to talk about today about the Java that so far we have covered in the class. But I'll follow the same presentation that has been since last week. Fahim is teaching us, so I think I'm going to follow the same presentation he created. So I don't feel like I created another one, or I think he's good, really good. So I'm just going to follow his presentation as long as Fahim by is not mind about it. So let's just talk about, I think he mentioned it already, so anyone can use it for reference, so I can just use it, I guess. We are going to talk about the Java. So first of all, what is Java, and who is that? Okay. And why we need to learn Java, as well as I think, yeah, this thing is important. What is Java and why we need to learn Java? Java is object-oriented programming that is very robust and secure, as well as is very platform independent, that you can write once and you can execute in many different platforms, such as Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Firefox, things like that. That's why it's called a platform independence. So you can run it in any operating system. Java has many different definitions about Java. What is Java? And Java is an object-oriented programming language. It's a very type language, as well as Java is all about class and object, things like that. A lot of different definition it has. So you guys, I think you guys know about it, as well as I think you should know about it by this time. Next thing we are going to talk about that, since we know that Java is all about class and object, these two things has to go together in hand. Without one another. Hold on a second, let me open my notepad. All right, so without one another, it's not gonna work. So you need at the same time class as well as the object too. So in different way, you can execute those inside the class, those other things like constructor and method. In different way, you can execute it, but it has to be in the class, object side. So, I think this picture, yeah, are you guys able to see me? Because this is first time I'm doing things, so I'm kind of little not 200% confidence about this presentation. You guys able to see the fine by presentation? Say yes or no. Guys, you guys need to answer it, otherwise, okay, I think you guys are able to see that. So in the first thing, when we create a Java project, right, it could be anything. You can give it a name as a project that you are working on. It depends on the different project you working on. So most of the people, they say Java project. So it can give anything your name as a Java project. Inside the Java project, there has to be the three part in it. First thing is called Java project, and which is, let me just create it so you guys can have a clear idea what it is actually. Let's just create the one first Java project so we can go one by one. So what's going on inside? So let me just create a first Java project. So if I click on the arrow sign to the right, it's showing me to the down. This thing is let you, if you press on it, it's gonna let you open. It's gonna open that bar so you can choose the Java project. You can give it any name if you want. It doesn't really matter. But I was gonna do the car, but she already did it car. But I think I can go with the car too. Doesn't really matter as long as I can deliver what I'm supposed to do. So let's just create with the car as a project name. So I'm gonna go with the car. Doesn't matter. You know what? All right, let's just create my project. Let's just create my project. My project. Sorry. So I give it a name. I think I should have followed the convention or something. My project. I give my project name is my project. It could be anything. All right. So inside the my project, hold on. My project. I think I got it out a little bit so I can have a fresh. All right. So I created one project. It's called my project. Inside my project, I have to. Hold on, it's right here. Inside the project, I should have package as well as another package. I should have a class. And so now I'm going to click on the source file, which is that's what you're going to run all your things. That's its source file. So if I click on the right click on it, if I go to new, and there is going to be, it's called package. I can give any package I want to that related to my project. So I'm gonna say my dream car as well. Doesn't really matter. Big car. Oops. DREAM, dream car. So I'm gonna say my dream car. So now inside my dream car, I'm gonna create the class. So if I click on the right click on it, I'm gonna create a class. So before I create a class, I'm just gonna say two words. In a class, it should have a two side, which is I already mentioned that one is going to be to have a class, and another class is going to be the object class. Basically, that's the way I understand. So in the class, they have a three section. In the three parts, it depends. It can be three part, it can be two part. It doesn't really matter, but that's what we learned so far, that in a class we should have variable, constructor, and method. So let's just create the regular class that has those things. So I'm going to create as a my regular class. I'm creating a class. So I think class should be C capital, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So I think class name should start with the capital letters. So that's what Fahim told. So that's what I know. So I could be wrong, but let's just see, work on it. So now I created my package. Its name is my dream car, and my regular class name is car. So inside a car, you know what? At the same time, I'm going to create another class which is that related to the object, which is going to be include the main method. So let's just create it together so we don't have to do it again. I mean, eventually we have to do it at the same time. So what I'm gonna do, main class, I guess, main class. So I created one class, I created one main class. Okay, so first we have to declare the variables in order to work on any project. I mean, any application, you need to have a variable. Without variable, nothing is working. So variable is a temporary place that stores some value that you are given, and is going to be executed whenever you call them or by the method or constructor. So it's a placeholder basically. So in order for you to give a variable has to be typed. Java is a very strongly typed language. So any kind of variable you initialize or declare, you don't have to, but whenever you initialize the variable, you have to say what kind of variable is it. So let's just say, since I'm going to create a car, so let me just gonna say integer car name, right? Let's just start with string, all right? So name of the car, so I'm just gonna say string. No, hold on. Is this supposed to be our variable name? What's the method of it? One second. Instruction that access class. Variable. What is the variable? I forgot. Hold on. Okay, declaring variable. Sorry, int number. Yes. All right. So what's this? So it's going to be the what it is. So I'm saying it's string. String is the letter of words, right? So I'm just gonna say string is considered a car model. What model is the car? So I'm just gonna say I'm gonna add another kind of string. So I'm just gonna say what's the name of it? So model and brand. I will say brand, B-R-A-N-D, brand. All right, so I have a true string, and no, S should be the capital. That's another problem. Always, most of the time, Java takes with S, anything related to S has to be capital. And let me put another variable, which is integer. So integer is a part of the number, right? So I'm just gonna say price, P-R-I-C-E. Integer price. Okay. So I'm just gonna try to make it simple, so I'm not gonna be burned out myself as well as not you guys make you confused. So let's just make it simple as much as we can. So I just initialize two variable, which is two kind of string. One kind is integer. So I can, if I want, I can initialize here the value of the variable, or I can call it in later on whenever I create the object. So as of right now, since we're following this, so let's just leave it as it like that. So let me just create, so since now we have to create construction in order for you to, constructor is part of related to what is this called, objects, since that's the reason we can access from object the constructor value or anything that thing. So we need to create the constructor. So let's just create a constructor under right here. So constructor should be creating object. Sure. Java class. Whatever you want, Java. Java. Okay. All right. So that's what is the constructor structure, that standard structure that everybody follows, which is access specifier. It means like what kind of thing, is it a public or is it a private, is it a protected? It's just to give a permission, seems like the name itself, it says that public, private, protected. So it just to give a permission. If it is like open for everybody, then it's gonna supposed to say public. If it is private for certain people, so it should be say private. And if it is say protected, probably it depend on the application or depend on the situation. Is whoever get the permission, that's what it is, basically access specifier, and then followed by the name of the class, right? So in that here you have to put the name. So in this case, I'm going to, my class is the car, so I have to follow the car. So let's just start creating at the same time I'm talking. But let's just put, I'm gonna say public, my class name is car, and the parameter, right? So parameter is, I'm gonna put, so string, I have to put the string, right? I forgot. Parameter is string name, and integer is okay. So in constructor, you have to mention what kind of parameter you are going to passing. So you have to say, so since I'm going to work on this, so my string is string, string is model, and let us now hold on. Let me just make this one default constructor as a beginning. Sorry. All right. So okay. Hold on. It's too far away. Is it? Oh, I have to put the curly braces inside the body. Okay. is this? Okay. Name of the class, okay. Constructor body. The parameters. So public employee string name, integer age, right? Oops. Default constructors are. Why is this giving me error? Okay. No. Is this? Alright, so the purpose of the initialize the object, okay, so if I say public employee, that's what is the default one. So why is mine is getting error? What is this? And the method is missing. I'm not making a method, I'm making a constructor. Public employee, okay. Syntax error. Oh, the C. I have to put the C, capital C. Okay, sorry. So what is this? Why this one is problem now? Oops. I don't know why this. Okay. You put inside this card. Okay. All right. So now I think something wrong with side, but I'm not sure what it is. Okay. Let me just make another constructor also same time. Fahim Bhai, can you tell me why I'm getting an error on the line number 7? If you can tell me quickly.
Yeah, just remove line number 7. You see how you see how you have a closing bracket, right? You got to remove that.
Oh, okay, it's extra. Sorry, thank you. It's already down to 1. Okay, thanks. All right, so let me just make another constructor with one parameter. So let's just make one other public car. Now I'm gonna pass in the okay, same problem. I have to put the capital since I put capital. So I'm gonna say string 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 model. Okay, string model. I'm passing it one parameter. Okay. Okay, what is this? Public employee string name. Okay. Integer age. String name, integer age. Okay. I'm doing the same thing. Public card. Oh, I have to put the curly braces. Sorry. All right, so now inside I can say that this if there is a function or some set program is called this dot. So if you press this dot, it's gonna let you access the what's inside the variable that you already declared. So it creates the space for you already whenever you declare a variable, so you can access those. Excuse me. Now I'm gonna say this model, right? So if I say model string, right? That's the string. So now equal to, I'm gonna say model. The same thing, I passing the value. Right, so this is the one first constructor, right? So I can integer age. Okay, since I already passed only one parameter, so I'm going to do only one. So I'm going to put another one. I'm going to create another constructor. So let me just create another public car string. So now the second parameter would be the brand, 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 right? So now I'm gonna put the curly braces followed by curly braces. So now, oh sorry, I have to put the this dot. Okay. Now inside the constructor body, I'm gonna say this dot. I can access the method variable that I created, so which is going to be brand, right? So I'm gonna say brand string equal to brand, brand. Okay, now close it. Curly braces. Open. Close it. This. This should be fine. These. Oh no, I don't need to put these curly braces. Also, sorry. I just need to put quotation. Let's see. So I have to pick up one. It should be fine, right? String brand. Okay, this dot model brand equal to brand. Public car. Oh, okay. I think I got it. What is this? Duplicate method car sharing string type. Okay. Is it because I'm doing the same car or find by, or is it because something else? Because it's giving me the error.
It's because the constructor you created before, it takes in a string parameter, right? A single string
Yeah,
parameter.
so I have to put the order of operation in different one, right? So
Yeah.
let me just make another string so I can put that one in the instead of that one. So let me just make another string which could be dealer. Let us say dealer, 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 right? So I can just make it another instead of. Okay, but you say string, right? But even though if I put in a different value, it's gonna be work.
No, if you change the variable name, it doesn't matter. Because you're still using the same
This
data type. So
data type, right? So I should use the second time. Can I use integer? Then I can use the string as well.
yeah, you could use integer for the second constructor.
Okay, all right. So let me just use the integer this time since his order is a problem because he cannot work on the same string for the number 1, number 2, number 3. It cannot be do it together. I think it has to be middle. It has to be something else. So it's gonna work. I think. So I'm going to change this value, which is going to be the price, PRIC price. So now I'm gonna change this here as well. So. Oh no, I changed. Okay, this yes. So this is going to be this dot price. I'm gonna get the price integer. Alright, so now this dot price integer equal to price. PRIC price. Okay. So now I can create another constructor that is not followed by the string, same string. You guys see that I initialize the string, then I was trying to do the same thing as followed by string. That's what was giving me error. And then I just change. It doesn't really matter order of constructor. Since I should it's reasonable, you can go string, then go to integer. It doesn't really matter because that's what was Java is giving me problem. You should not have it together at the same thing. If it is mixed, it's fine, I think. All right, let me just make another constructor which is public car car. Now I'm gonna say string, string, which is gonna be brand, right? price. Oh, I created. Let me just delete it since I was doing that. All right. All right. So now I'm gonna say integer model, which is gonna be brand BRAND brand. Okay. So now open it, close it. Now I'm gonna say this dot. Oops. This dot. I can get the brand. Okay, brand string. So equal to brand, BRAND brand. Okay, now put the cover. Oops, what's wrong with here now? Did I public car string brand? This that brand. Okay, I don't know why it's giving me still problem. Duplicate method. Find by still giving me the problem though.
Yeah, because you already have a constructor that takes in a string parameter, a single string parameter. So you can't have two constructors that take in the same argument of data type.
Oh, okay. I think I got it because I already mentioned here only one constructor. If I do this one as a two constructor, it shouldn't be problem, right?
Two parameters, yeah.
Yeah, two parameters. Okay, I got it now. Okay, let me just create another, which is I was doing DEALER dealer, right? I declare another variable. Now, since he's giving me the problem because it cannot be take the same parameter, it has to be different parameters. So let me just say add another parameter. So string string string. I'm gonna say dealer DEALER dealer, right? So now this shouldn't be problem. All right. Thank you, Panbay.
You didn't declare dealer correctly.
DEALER.
In your instance variable. So line 4, you have an error.
DEALER. Should we put?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you.
Also, you would want to add, say, this dot dealer equals dealer.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So this dot should be, I should add the dealer.
Yeah.
It should be dealer and equal to dealer. Dealer.
Okay. Yeah. Before you move on, I just want to make a quick comment. So you see how your code it's not properly indented, right? This will be like it's basically the same thing as when you're writing an essay, right? If you don't indent any paragraphs and you just leave everything like it's gonna be hard to read. You don't know where to start from. So if you want to fix this, a quick fix, right? Instead of manually fixing it, you could just right click on your class on the left hand side, or you could just click on the white space in your class right now. Yeah.
Right click.
Yeah, right click.
Okay.
And then you would go to source.
Source, okay.
And then you would go to format.
Format, okay, right here.
Yep. And then it's fixed.
Thanks. That's cool. Looks cool. Thanks. All right. So basically, I'm doing it the first time, so I'm not that too fast. So hopefully, I can be faster than this time. Next time. So we created the constructor. So now, as well as it can do the same thing, constructor. Just instead of writing all this, it could do same thing, which is fine by showed us. If you just do this, highlight this your variable. If you click on right click, if you go to sources, I think sources, and if you go to the constructor, it should be constructor generate constructor using field, right? It could do the same thing as I did by manually, or he could do the same thing as he could do the just like he do the setters and getters method. He could do use the same thing for the constructor as well too. So I'm just gonna mention it, but I already did it, so I don't have to do it again. I don't have to do it. So let's just now I created a constructor. Now I have to make the since we're following this convention, which is how many things are in the class. So I declare variables I created a constructor. Now I have to do the same thing as I created a constructor. I have to declare the method. Then we're going to implement later on whenever from the object when we call it, or you could say that. So let's just create a method. Yeah, sure, this should be right here. Oh, no, it should be right here. All right, so the method is, so what is method? I'm just trying to say 2 words for the method. Method is basically logic of the application. So it could be different way of doing things, as well as it also called the, I think if I'm not wrong, but I heard it somewhere, the function. Method and function is pretty much the same way, that you do different kind of things in the application. You can do a lot of things. You can modify things. You can do a lot of things. That's what is method. It's just a function of the application. That's real project works. So let me just create a, now, okay, let's just talk about first how the method is structured, look like. So first we have a similar like access specifier, similar like a constructor. We have a public or private. So you guys know that. So which is the access specifier, and the method type is since Java is a very type language. So you have to mention everywhere what type you are going to, what it is. Like you just want to know what it is, and you have to say it. If you don't say it, then it's gonna get confused or it's not gonna work properly. It should be like you have to say what type it is. So which is the method type. It could be return type. It could be void, or it could be which is void, or it could be anything that you wanted to return. Is going to return something, or it's not going to return something, which is the void is not going to return you anything. You can just print out within the void. If you do any what do you call, any functionality in there, so you have to say like this example, right? It says public integer. If you wanted to do anything like automatic system, which is you give an instruction, and he's going to do it automatically for you. You just have to give the instruction. That's what it is. You just have to give instruction, and he's going to do whatever you ask for. He's going to do it for you. That's what it means. Public, which is the integer, is the type, what type it is, what type it is, data it is, and what do you want to do. You want to add, you want to subtract, you want to multiply, you want to division, whatever you want to do based on this action, right? Return type, you have to put those kind of parameter. Let's just say if you wanted to add, you say you wanted to add it, but the integer type let me just do it, and you guys know what I'm talking about. So let's just say public. So let me just do the first void, right? void void public void say hello. Okay, let's just say follow the same thing. Say hello. Hello dear. Let me just close it. Let's do this. Oops, not inside, it should be outside. So this should be a system, not okay. Okay. So I can just print out if I want to print. Okay, system SY. Okay, I can do shortcut, which is SYSO. SY. Okay. Control SYSO. Control space. System out.println. Okay. I can just say similar hello. I can just say hello dear. Okay. put a quotation inside. Okay. Did you say to him? If I wanted to print out anything that integer, which is you have to put the quotation in between, otherwise it's gonna give you a problem. So, I mean, I can print out, let's just not print out anything. Let's just leave it as like that. Just like Boyd, right? Do we have to mention anything? Like his, okay. Can I move forward fine by without a printout, or I have to print out?
There's no really point of creating a method if it's not gonna do anything. So might as well create the method.
Okay. Yes. So control this. So I'm gonna say in quotation, hello dear, I guess DEAR. Hello dear. Okay. Now I created. Okay, this should be the second one. Yeah. I created one which is, it's not gonna return me anything, but I can print out anything. Since it says void, it's not gonna return me anything, but I can print out anything if I wanted to, or I have to. But let me just create with another method which is going to be return me something. So which is going to be public. Oh, no, public. If I wanted to add, since we are working on a my car, so if I wanted to add these two string, right? I can do that, right? If I wanted to add these two string in the variable I declare, like say model and brand, I can do that, right?
If you want to declare what exactly?
Now, if I wanted to return in something in the method, right? I can add these two, like say model and brand. If I wanted to add, add has to be the integer, so it's not gonna work. So if I say, no, I can do anything related to this, right?
So what do you want to do? You want to return a model and a brand? Is that what you want your method to do? So
so
what kind of, so will it use a return type?
Huh?
Are you going to use a return type then?
Yeah.
So what would that return type be?
Return type should be, that's what I'm trying to figure out. If I wanted to add this like brand and model, right? So what kind of variable, what kind of, what do you call the data type I should use? Should we use add or should we something else?
Add is not a data type.
Add is not gonna be.
Yeah. So
yes.
You want to use a string, so you want to return a string.
Oh, string. Sorry. That's what I was looking for. Sorry. string string, right? If I say string, and if I wanted to add these two things, right? And for by here, if I say int A and int B, I can just initialize here, which is going to be int model, 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 int brand, 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 right? I can just say things like that, okay? So double should be sure.
Okay, so, your method does not have a name, right? You forgot to declare.
I have to give them a name. Oh, sorry. Okay. So I'm gonna say this kind. What is kind is that? So I can say something like this. So if I wanted to say the next thing in the method body, I have to say what I wanted to do, the function you want me to do. So if I say which is what integer result, okay. So which is gonna be string 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 result result quotation. So, oh no, result I have to put the value, those two value inside, sorry. Which is going to be A, okay. Model equal to brand, brand, okay. Inside. Okay, quotation, sorry. Okay. I'm just gonna go on quotation. Now I'm gonna say return result. return return result. Return result. Okay. So what I think it should be take up is parentheses here. It should be fine. Why this? A plus B integer type. A plus B, okay. Model brand. Why this thing is giving me error?
Okay, so let's look back into the code. Okay, so what do you want your method to do? So give me an example.
So I want to print it out together, right? Model or brand.
So let's give an example of a model and let's give an example of a brand. So what do you want it to print out?
Print out together?
No, give me, like, what do you want your method to print out? Give an example of you using the method. So like.
Oh, okay. So I could say this Toyota brand or something.
Okay, so Toyota would be what, the brand, right? And what would you put for model? Like Camry something, right?
Camry, yeah.
So you wanted to print out Camry Toyota, right? Or Toyota Camry, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at the method that you just created. Okay, so first we have you have the return type. That's the string type, right? Then you gave it a name. And now inside the parameter, you're taking an integer model and integer brand. If you're declaring model and brand as like Honda, as Toyota and Camry, right? Are those really integer types?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Toyota and Camry.
Are they integer types? Integers are numbers, right?
Oh no, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, wrong. Okay, got it. Okay, should be string. Sorry. string. Okay, that's wrong. Thanks.
No problem. And you still need one more fix. So you're trying to print out the result. So you created a string called result, right? So that result variable will hold. You wanted to have the value of it saying model plus brand. So if you had Toyota Camry, it would say Camry Toyota, right? So what you did right now is not really doing that. So how would you
should
put
I pass the value here?
What do you mean pass the value? Okay, so first it's your right hand side that's an error, right? So you want to how would you convert it into string?
Oh, this already mentioned in the brand, right? So
if you let's say you wanted to print out Camry Toyota, right? And you're returning that, right? So the result is gonna be you wanted to print out Camry Toyota. How would you make it print out Camry Toyota? Like
so I have to see so?
No. What do you have to put in the result? Your right hand side of your initialization is wrong. So you would have to say model plus brand.
Model plus brand, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's okay. What's operation?
But that's not an addition operation. That's a concatenation, right?
Concatenation
So
operation.
you need to concatenate with a string. So you have to put a string there. So if you're gonna say Camry Toyota, it's gonna follow a space, right? So put a space string in there.
Okay. That's fine.
That's so if you say brand is Toyota and model is Camry, that's gonna print out Camry Toyota with no spaces. So you want to put in a space, right? So how do you concatenate a string inside there?
Okay, I got it. Plus, sorry, it should be plus space. Now I'm gonna put the space in between, then plus.
Yeah, good stuff.
All right, that should be fine. I can pass the value later on in the object class, right?
Yeah, it's just gonna return the string.
Oh yeah. Was this thing? Okay, thanks. So now, because since it's the very complicated process, so I can from here I can make a constructor, right? I mean doing the setters and getters.
Yes, you can if you want to.
Okay, let's just do that. So I don't have to embrace myself anymore. Let's just make it easier. Okay, with the sources. All right, so guys, I'm going to do get the rest of the method using the setters and getters, which is easier. I don't have to type it since I'm not that good at it yet. So hopefully, so generate getters and setters, right? So hold on. Should I choose everything? It should be opt out whatever I created already, right? It should be everything else. I created the kind, so which was in here. All right, I think should be all of them. Because if you already create one, it's gonna opt out means it's not gonna do it. It's not gonna take that as a consideration, making a new one. So it's gonna do rest of it. So I'm gonna say kind after string since I'm gonna follow by this. I mean on this serial. So I'm just gonna take this one. I'm gonna say okay. All right. So just created the rest of the constructor for me, so I don't have to do it. So it just created for me. So now we are done with. So let's just follow the same. Same structure for the Java class. What should be in there? We have no, not this one. Example of that. Okay, we declared the variables. We created a constructor. We created the method as well. So we are done with the pretty much with the class. So now we are going to work on the object that I created already, which is in the main. Now from here, I have to create the object and access. From here, I can access those class and method, constructor and method, and apply, and I can execute all this whatever I want. So let's just create an object. So what is object? Object is the instance of class. Means it's not like it's already given like a blueprint. It says blueprint, but it's not. Little doubt, I would say that a blueprint is like something feel like the word itself. It feel like that something already given. You just have to use it. No, you have to create everything. It just from here you can use it. It's not like it's already given to you. You have to create it yourself too. Class you have to create object as well. So you have to create both sides, class and object. So let's just create how to create an object. What's the structure of the object? So let's just follow the same things. Method, constructor, creating object. Okay. So this is the employee here is the type of the class or object you are going to create. So since I created a car, my class, it should be the same as a class, because otherwise it's gonna get messed up or something. I don't know, but it should be the same as a what type. If you, because you already created for that type all this constructor, variable, and method, so it should be the same type. So let's just create the type car, and it should be capital C, C-A-R, followed by the name. So it says here, that's your, some people say it's a reference variable, some people say name. Any way you understand, doesn't really matter. You just give you your own name. You can put anything you name that you can remember. It's just nothing to relate to, nothing to here is just a type, employee the type, and this is the things main, the name of that object, basically. That's the name of the object. So that's what it is. So I'm gonna say R1, right? R1. I will say, oh, do I have to put anything in? No, I don't have to put anything. So that's whenever the now I give it, this is the car type and this is the car name that object I'm going to create. So E followed by, no, sorry. Now I'm going to put equal. Okay, he mentioned something also that's the declaration of up to here, up to here to here. It's a declare. You just declare what type of the object would be. You didn't create anything constructor yet. Up to here, it should be the declaration of the object, which is he says is here. The code said red and green are all variable declaration that associate a variable name with an object type, right? The second part is start from equal to here. So second part should be start from here. So that's the instantiation. How to spell instantiation? Anyway, that's the new keyword is a Java operator that creates the object. So we are going to follow the same things. So I'm gonna say new. That's the new keyword is a Java keyword that creates the object. So this is going to create the object, followed by the initialization. So which is that you just created Java object for you. Now you are initialize the new operator followed by call constructor, which is the initialized new object. So it's gonna, now the second word, it should be the same as car, because that's what we are working on it. So this basically is a constructor. So this is constructor, and this new keyword is a Java keyword that initialize object for you. Without this, it's not gonna think as an object. So that's the is this keyword you need to use in order for you to create an object for you. So now, so okay, now I'm gonna close it and parameters. So now this is like a default default object, right? We didn't initialize any parameters in there. We could do it different way. A lot of people they initialize here parameters, they can access method and constructor, but I'm trying to do, as a beginner, I'm not that fast yet. So I'm trying to do normal way. So this is like, it didn't initialize, it's just a default, default, what is this called, object, default object, I would say, yeah. The second thing is that now we want to initialize which is the second part right here, second part. That is gonna take some parameters so I can access some stuff from method or constructor, right? So let us do this one. I'm gonna say up to here. Okay. Public car1 equal to new car. Now I can put some parameters on it, and I can guess. Now, if I wanted to access some stuff from here, right? So if I wanted to print out that the constructor method I created, right here, I can get the result. I can get the result since we created. Let's just work on this one, so I can get the result. Some stuff print out on the console, right? So let's just create. I can just say a set. I have to return model. Oh no, okay. Okay. I think some kind of curly braces problem. Fine by. Can you figure out what's the problem here?
Yeah.
I
First of
think
all, once again, you always want to indent, right? So let's properly format this again. So
okay.
you make it a habit where you don't start programming like that. So you always want to indent everything, right? So source factory
So source
format, yeah.
oh, didn't work.
No, right click again.
Source
Format.
It's not working.
So I think it's not working because we have an error first. Okay, so the error right here is that where is this what are you doing right now? Are you trying to create an object or are you trying to create a method?
No, I'm trying to access those method I created already. Method and constructor.
So you're trying to access if you're trying to access that method, then you don't need to you use the create an object signature along with the open curly bracket and close bracket. So look at, first of all, you're working outside of your main class, right? Do you see it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, this line should be inside a main, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's I was confused. I think that was the problem. I forgot. I think, yeah.
And you have an extra curly bracket. Do you see why?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought I should have, because since I have one made, I just made a one default object. So I thought I need to have another, leave it alone and make it another one. But it should be that everything main method, right? Okay. Okay. So let's just car one equal to new car. So now I can put some. Okay, so if I wanted to access that information, right? So I can just call the method, right?
So what are you trying to do now? You're trying to access to the kind method, the method called kind.
Yeah, the kind, yeah, or anything else.
Okay, so if you want to do that, you have to say the object's name and then you have to say dot.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yes, my bad. Okay, I remember now. Okay. So object name is car1.
You have an error, right? What's the error?
Hold on.
Let's hover over the error. What does it say?
Duplicate
field, right? So when it says duplicate, that means you already have another one, right? So where do you see you basically you created a car one object twice.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true. But you say it has to be everything under the main class, right?
Yeah. So whatever your main class is, but the thing is, you don't have your main method set. So
main method.
Yeah, you don't have a main method, right? Every Java application needs a main method to run from.
Oh, okay, main hours. That was the problem. Okay. I don't know why it didn't work. Okay. It's missing the rest of the thing, right?
Yeah, your main method. It's missing a main method.
Public, public class. How the hell is class came from? Okay, let me just delete it and create another one.
No, don't. Try to understand it.
Okay.
Okay.
All
So
right.
the
So
issue right here is that we're missing we're missing what?
main class. It shouldn't be the main class. It should be public void main ARGS.
Yes, but that's what that is right now. That's your class's name. You have a class called main class, right? So
Yeah.
now inside main class, you need to create a main method.
Oh yeah. Okay, so okay, I know what you're saying. Okay, I don't. Oh, probably I didn't check that one. Okay, that I know now what's happening. Okay. Okay, now public.
There's a shortcut way of writing it, right?
So let's see. So.
No, that's system.out.print.
Oh, okay.
The shortcut way is typing MA.
MA, yeah. Okay. Okay, main class, main method should be main method. Who is that? Main class. Okay. No, that's the main.
No, the main method, right? Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Oh, I forgot to check that, and I didn't see. Okay, that's good. Now it should be. This should be go under this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oops. Copy. Paste. All right. This needs to go. All right. All right. Cool. All right. So now should be car one equal to new car. Okay, now if I want to put parentheses on it, so now I can just okay, now I don't need to do anything. I'm just gonna say why this thing is car one is giving the problem.
What does it say?
Duplicate local variable.
Yeah. So do you see anywhere else you have another car1 variable?
No, but I'm just giving you a name. Oh, I have to put a different name. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Okay. Now I can just call the which is this object name. I can just call the object name, which is I'm gonna call 6R2 dot. I can access my what is this called method, right? I can say what is, hold on, what's the method? What would be that? Hold on a second. Would be that kind. Okay. Okay, should be kind. Kind. Oh, do I have to? I can access the name of the constructor, or I have to access by separately? Here, I have to access by separately, or I can just access by the name of the method. Kind. Am I?
Oh, sorry, I have my mic.
Okay, so I can access the name of the constructor, or I have to access by separately.
You can access the method by the name, right? So if you go back, right?
Yeah.
Just type in dot again. So if you know your method name you're trying to access, just type in K, right? It was called kind, right? So KI.
Yeah.
And it'll pop up.
Kind. Okay. Okay. I didn't see that, so I thought I have to access by the different separately. Okay.
Yeah. Press. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Kind. Okay. So now I can pass a value here. So if I say model, which is could be Toyota, 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 and I can change the value. I can pass the value, which is say brand. No, Toyota is the brand. Sorry, Toyota should be the brand. Model should be different. Camry, C-A-M-R-Y, Camry, and the brand should be Toyota. Toyota. Okay. Okay.
So you still have
I
an
think
error,
I
right?
changed it. I think I changed the order.
No. Just hover over the error. It'll tell you what's the error, right? So
It's a Camry cannot resolve the two variable.
right. So what kind of variables did you use for your kind method? What kind of variable types?
String.
Yeah. So you taking a string
Okay.
model and a string brand, right?
Yeah.
That's not really a string right there, right? How do you make it a string?
Oh, I have to say it, right?
You have to use what?
Hold on, let me think. Since Camry is the making string.
You're passing in string arguments, right?
Yeah.
But that's not really
But
string. Camry is not string, right? You're missing something.
I have to mention it. It's string Camry, right?
No, you already mentioned it in your method, right? You created a method called kind, and it takes in a string.
Oh, okay. It has to concatenation again.
No. You're passing in the parameter, the argument now. Here, look,
Okay.
go back to your method.
Uh-huh.
So your method right here, it says it takes in a string model and a string brand, right? So when
Yeah.
you call in the method, you're gonna have to pass in string arguments, right? But now
Uh-huh.
let's go to your main class.
Uh-huh.
Is that a string argument? Is Camry a string argument? The way you wrote it, that's not a string argument. You're missing something very important. What makes a string unique than a character?
It's more than one character.
Yeah, and like, does it use any like special characters to make it a string, right? So what you're missing.
Oh, okay. Quotation.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly.
Okay. Oh, God damn it. All right. Cool. All right.
So you have the quotations outside.
Outside. Okay. Got it. All right. Why this thing is too far away this way? Okay. Why still?
So you only have one quotation.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you're still getting an error.
I don't know why.
So let's look at your method again.
Mm-hmm.
It takes in what kind of string arguments? I mean, what kind of arguments does your method take for your first parameter?
Model and brand.
Yeah. So it takes in a string model and a string brand, right? So now go
Yeah.
to your main class.
Uh-huh.
You basically have one string right there.
Okay. Oh, okay. But I passed it in there, two of them. Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
in your thing you have one string. You missed another important thing basically.
So I have to make separate way the car
No. You see how Camry? You have Camry, comma Toyota. That's one string. There's supposed to be two different strings.
Okay.
Because it's passing. You're using two different parameters, right?
Okay.
One is for string.
So should I add these two?
No, you need to. No plus. You need to add a quotation, right? Camry, it's its own string, and Toyota is its own string.
Oh, okay. All right. Two separate things. Okay. Not added together. Okay. Got it. That makes sense. Okay. Okay. That should be fine. But
And since it's taking two parameters, you need to add a comma. Yeah. So do you understand that now, right?
Yeah, I got it now. I got it.
So the first argument, Camry, right? That the model, right? String model, and then it's followed by a comma, right? You have to add the string brand, right? So the brand is
another entity.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly.
Another entity. So it has to be separated instead of together. It's not gonna be understand.
Yeah. Previously, you only had it.
It was, it's gonna get confused.
One string. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
No problem.
So now let's just print out something. Let's see what's going on. If I do this, so, oops, where is that? I don't see them. Where's my console? It didn't print out though, I think. Did it? Oh, okay. Oops, so hold on. How to go back to the Java? Okay. Fine by. Okay, Java right here.
Oh yeah. So you accidentally like minimized and closed out stuff, right? So you're
Yeah.
trying to go
So
back to your default perspective. So what you want to do is click on Window,
Windows, okay.
Perspective.
Perspective,
Yeah,
okay.
and reset perspective.
Reset perspective, okay.
Yeah. Press yes.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
I think that was the error. It didn't print out.
Okay, so let's see. So it didn't print out anything, right? Let's go back to your method.
Yeah, I think so. It didn't print out anything at all.
Okay, so are you printing out anything to the console in this method?
Yes, that's what I was trying to do. So I had to do system out, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking that. Okay. Oops. Let's see, so one. So now, my dream car, if I add some stuff on it, my dream car, now I can pass the model. My dream car, I can just here pass the parameters in the method, right? Set, no, I don't know. I already said it, right? Hold on. Dot pass my dream car. And by. So
Yeah.
if I wanted to, how can I do this printout? So do I have to pass the parameters or do I
So
have
if you
to
want to print out Camry Toyota, you take
as my
exactly
dream
what
car?
you write in line 7 and put that inside your parentheses of system.out.print.
Oh, okay. So I can add some text in it if I want to, right?
Yeah.
My dream, okay, dream car, which is should be the Camry, but I already mentioned it. Do I have to mention again?
So what you can do is go to line 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at the beginning, type in string.
Right here, beginning.
Yeah. String, capital S.
Okay. Oh, yes. It shows to, but you know what? Okay.
And then after string, you could give it a variable name, right? Say dream car or whatever.
Okay, dream car.
Then equals, and that's it, right? So now in the system.out.print, you could say my dream car is, and then you use that variable dream car.
Okay, my dream car. One second. So I can just say nothing, right? Without.
No. You're getting an error, right? Okay. First of all, delete everything. Yeah. So you want to say my dream car, right? You want to say something, right?
Yeah.
How would you print it out to the console? So if you want to say something more than one character, what do you have to use?
Oh, you have to use the concatenation. Yeah. Okay. So okay, my
You're missing something very important right now. That's why you're getting an error right here, right?
Multiple marketers at the same light cannot be observed.
My dream car, right? Is what is that supposed to be? What are you trying to print out to the console?
So it should be the my dream car is Toyota Camry, let's just say, right?
So you're printing out to the console. You wanted to print out my dream car is, and then Toyota Camry, right?
Toyota Camry, yeah.
So what is the my dream car? What is that?
Car 2, right?
No, is that an integer? Is that what? Is that what kind of
String,
data?
right?
Yeah, that's string. So you're
String.
gonna have to use quotations.
Everything? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My dream car. Now if I
You want to concatenate it, right?
yes. Now if I say space in between now. But since I already passed the value, do I have to still mention?
So you look at line 7. You you initialized a variable called dream car, and it has the value which of what you set car to using the formula kind to.
So I can just pass the variable, right?
Because look, if you go back to your method in car, and you see kind, right? What kind of method is this? Is this a return method, return type method?
No, it's it's kind, yeah.
Yeah, so it's what does it return again?
It's gonna return the model and brand.
So what is that? What kind of data
String.
type is it returning? It's returning a string, right? So now if you go to your main class, so if that method is returning a string, you could hold it into a string variable. So that's why we created a string called string dream car, and we assigned it that string. So car2.kind Camry Toyota, that right hand side, it basically will return you a string. So whatever that string is, that's what our dream car is going to be equal to. So now if you want to print it out, you can simply just say my dream car, and then you concatenate it, and you can concatenate it with the variable called dream car.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, the variable of object. Okay.
Yeah.
Dream car, okay, let's say, okay.
Dream car is not really an object, right? It's a string variable that holds a string value.
Yeah.
How do we get that string value? We used an object call to the that class and used this method, right?
Isn't it the since we create this is the name of the object?
Yeah, that's the object name.
Yeah, that's the object name, right?
Yeah, okay. But dream car, is it an object? Yes or no?
It's object, yes.
No, it's not. Where did you initialize dream car as an object?
No, it's not an object. Car is the object.
Okay, so car 1 and car 2, they're objects, right? What about your dream car? What is that? Is that an object, or is that a variable?
It's the variable.
Yeah, so you see how we declared it? We declared it as a string type, and then we initialized it. So if it's a string variable, it can only hold string values, right? So we initialized it to car2, right? Car2 we used that object's method. We used kind, and then we pass in the parameter Camry and Toyota. And what does that kind method do? It returns a string, right? That's why we could give dream car a string value, because that method kind, it returns a string. If that method kind returned an integer, we could not assign dream car to that, because dream car is a string type. But since that method returns a string, we're able to assign it to that. Do you understand that? Does everyone else understand that in the chat? Because if you can understand how to assign variables like that, You guys should be like further up in programming. You guys would understand advanced programming, right? That's basically intermediate. That's like one aspect of intermediate advanced programming right here. If you guys can understand that, you guys should be good.
All right, so now my dream car, right, which is, this is the printout. This is nothing related to here, right? But now let's just string, which is the type I declare right there, right?
Yeah.
So this, the return value is a string, right? Since this is the initially, which is the kind, is the string kind is going to return, right?
Yeah.
So that's no doubt about it right there. But here, now you're saying that there's going to be since string equal to dream car, which is the which is the message that's nothing related to, which is the same thing as type of the.
Yeah. So do you know why I did this? Is because if you did that, you wouldn't have to in line 8 you wouldn't have to say you wouldn't have to write car2.kind and fill out the parameters again, right? We just initialize the value, so whenever you want to use it, we could just use gene car. So we made it simpler to use. So now right now you're having an error in line 8, right? So do you spot the error?
Yeah, so if I said my dream car, which is a car 2, that's the
So right
holding
here,
it.
right now, you're saying my dream car, and then you're concatenating it with a space, right?
Yeah,
You
which is
could remove the space and just add a space after dream car, and it'll be the same thing.
okay. So but I need to have a concatenation, right?
Yeah. So add a space after dream car, the first string. Yeah, right here. So yeah. So you don't need to concatenate it with the strings of space. So now you want to concatenate it with what?
Which is the value of the, which is what the results, which is Camry and Toyota, right?
Yeah.
So I can just say car 2, right?
Yeah. So you could say car2.kind and then fill out Camry and Toyota, or you could use dream car, right? Since
dream car, that's the holding of the
it's holding the
object.
value,
Okay.
right? Exactly.
Okay, got it. Dream car, yes, that's what I was saying. So dream car, okay.
Okay, so let's run it and see if it works.
Damn. Alright.
Nice, right? It works, right?
Yeah, it did. Damn. I'm tired, bro. I don't know. All right, so this is like complicated things, but it's not that hard, I guess.
I'm happy that you came across this problem, because I wanted to explain this in my mentoring, but since you encountered it, I hope like people were like following. So it's really good to understand that you could initialize variables. You don't have to just give it values. You could use method to get the values, right?
Yeah.
So and that method that we use car2.kind, right? That returns a string. That's why we're able to give dream car, which is a string type, a string value. So car2.kind Camry Toyota, it returns a string, so that's a string value.
Yeah, it's just like I wasn't sure what I was doing, but I was trying to do the print out that thingy.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting this much.
You could have taken the long way, right? The longer way is just like filling it out again. But what if you have to, you're a programmer, right? The programmer's purpose is to make everything, you want to use shortcuts and you want to be lazy as possible, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you would do that.
I think I'm done because I think I'm tired.
All right, that's all good.
Next class, I'm gonna go one more constructor, a little bit more than this. So hopefully.
Right. You did a good job. Thanks, man.
Thanks. Sorry, I wasn't that like everybody else too.
No, a lot of people they have this issue. So it's just not you. A lot of people are looking at the implementing. They probably learned from your mentoring. They're able to catch up stuff. They would know the mistake and they would know what to fix.
All right, so I think I'm done for today. I don't think I can go any more further than this. I can go but I just don't want it to. I'm tired, I guess.
All right. Didn't make myself presenter. All right. So that's I guess that'll be it for today. Um, we have like 10 minutes left, anyways, till session ends. If anyone would like to ask questions, let me know now. So basically, Thursday and Friday, I'm gonna go over object-oriented programming, but you guys still haven't been introduced to stuff like if else statements, for loops, while loops, and all those stuff. So um, we're also gonna look at so example, I used if statement right here, right? We're also gonna look over some other APIs like the scanner API. So we won't have time for it today, but so like right here, um, in order to understand that, you guys need to understand classes and objects. So that's the if you guys can understand that, then we can move on, right? So does anyone else have questions about classes and objects? So far, including from last week up until today, right? The mentoring has been all about classes and objects, right? The structure of classes and whatnot. So there's no so you guys can look. You guys don't really need to look at every mentoring YouTube video, right? As long as you understand the concept first. It's just that every other day I use different examples. That's it. But if you guys were still like behind class and objects, you guys want to like follow up to it, it's best to watch the latest video on classes and objects. So the last video I have right now is the one that's on YouTube for July 31st. In that mentoring session, I explained it clearly. So just go over that later if you guys are still struggling in there. Hopefully by tomorrow, you guys would have some flavor, right? In if methods, if else, right? For loops, while loops, and those stuff. I'm gonna introduce them to you guys after if there's time. So does anyone else have questions on classes and objects? Can you give us some suggestion on our homework? Oh yeah, so what kind of tips do you guys need for the homework? So if you guys are still here and you guys haven't done your homework, you guys want me to like go over it, let me know. So let's look at the homework for this week, right? So homework, right? Let's look over it. Number 6, review the materials since first day of the class. So basically, just look over your notes, look at the mentoring videos if you're still stuck. Join mentoring sessions and group discussions. You know, keep reading core Java and head first Java book. That's simple. That's simple, right? Just read. That's it. Continue working on code lab. At least you should solve 50 to 100 exercises. Please, try and do the code lab. Mr. Mafi is gonna head into Saturday, and he's gonna check how many people completed exercises. And if there's like a person who only completed like one or two hasn't completed it yet, he's just gonna embarrass you in front of class. And that's not a fun thing, right? So just make sure you do like 50 to 100, or if you want, or you can do more, right? So number 1, write a Java application and show the use of multiple constructor and use static variable and static method along with final variable. So basically, I did this in yesterday's mentoring video, right? I'll just quickly go over it of my class that I used, right? I created a a project called books. Inside it, I have a book class and my main class. So in my book class, I um, uh, uh, declared and initialized my variables. So here I'm using a static variable, right? I set it to 0. I declared variables here, and I'm using a final variable here, right? And then you create constructors, and then you create your getters and setters, right? And that's what Mr. Mafi wants you to use, right? He wants to see how you guys can use multiple constructors, and then also use static variable and static method, right? So not in my main class, um, like he wants you guys to basically he wants you guys to use multiple constructors. So this isn't a good example here because I'm just using the default constructor. So if I were to show him that I can use multiple constructors, I would say one constructor would be Harry Potter, right? Another constructor would be the title plus the author, right? I could say James and the Giant Peach, right? And then Road Doll or something. I think that's the name, right? So how many constructors do I have here? I have one, two, three, four, five, right? I have 5 constructors. So far I created constructor using these constructors, right? So far I created objects using these constructors. So I had to create an object using these. So that's what you would do. You're just going to create objects and use those constructors. He wants you guys to see you using them. Just a constructor or main class plus constructor? Um, both. He wants to see both, right? He wants to see how you guys create your constructor and how you guys call an object and construct the object with those constructors. And he wants you guys to use a static variable and static method, right? If you guys are struggling on this, just look at my YouTube video from yesterday. Basically the whole video, I go over all of this, right? Write a Java application by using string class. So you could knock off 2 birds with 1 stone. You could do that with number 1, right? So he wants you to use 25 to 35 methods, right? And he also wants you to explore Java API every day and at least explore 5 different classes. So for number 2, you would basically want to use the string class, right? So you want to use the string class method. So right here, I I initialized a a string called st, and I initialized to the title of my book 4's object title, right? So I basically said get title of my book 4, which is Harry Potter's and the Philosopher's Stone, and I set it and I initialized it to the variable called st. And right here, from lines 19 to lines 28, since st is a string, right? I'm using string methods here, right? So if I basically, it's the same thing as creating an object, right? If I were to create an object right here, if I were to say book 3 dot, right? I have access to that the book's methods, right? Same thing with string. I created a string right here called st, and if I press st dot, right, I have access to all these string methods right here. So he wants you guys to use 25 to 30 of these methods here and just print it out. So basically what I did right here, right, I said st at character at 6. So this method, it prints out the character that's at index 6, right? So this is my title, index 6, it will start from index 0. So it'll be 1, no, it'll be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So it would print out P. So this would print out P. Right. So he wants you guys to use all these methods of string and just show it inside your program. So just like this, if you guys can just write it like that, right? That would be good enough. So that's basically it. That's what he wants you to do for your homework. Anyone else have questions? Any questions on the homework? If not, I'm just gonna end the training right here and call it a night. All right. All right. See you guys. No problem. Thanks to Kahina and Mahshin for mentoring today. They did a good job. Tomorrow's mentoring, I think, is gonna be Sukanta and Ibrahim. So if you guys want to, come, just come anyways, right? They're gonna go over class and objects as well. They're gonna do a review. So if you guys keep on repeating, like even if you know the stuff, if you guys keep attending, right, it'll just become better. Before I started mentoring for you guys, honestly, me mentoring you guys, it honed my skills, right? Me creating slides and presentations, it just made everything else clear for me. It made now I used to know I know more stuff about Java than I used to know last 2 weeks or 2 weeks ago. Is because when you're mentoring, right? It basically prepares you to know what you're talking about, right? And also you also learn from it. So I suggest you guys mentor as well. If you guys haven't mentored already, when Mr. Mahfi asked, who wants to mentor, you guys give your names. All right, so that's it for today. Good night, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.